Before we lift our voices in prayer, let us unite in the firm conviction that no circumstance proves too difficult for our God. No barrier stands too firmly shut. No spirit remains too resistant. No physical form lies too shattered. No financial obligation grows too overwhelming. And no transgression plunges too profoundly for him to overturn, renew, or reclaim it entirely. When we refer to those utterly improbable challenges, we mean the precise instances in our journeys where our options vanish completely, our supplies dwindle to nothing, our insight reaches its absolute limit, and our endurance collapses altogether. Such times demand nothing short of a divine intervention. Yet the wonderful reality remains that our God continues to specialize in performing wonders. He does not merely represent the deity who accomplished marvels long ago. He stays unchanging through every era from the past into the present and onward eternally. Whatever he has achieved previously, he retains the full capacity to accomplish once more. And that which appears utterly unachievable from a human perspective becomes entirely feasible through his might. Luke chapter 1 verse 37 states this timeless principle: "For with God nothing shall be impossible." These assuring words came from the angel Gabriel to Mary as she wondered how she, still untouched by any man, could ever bear the Son of God. The entire scenario contradicted reason, human physiology, and the established patterns of the world. However, what struck her as beyond comprehension posed no challenge whatsoever to the Creator who originated life from the very beginning. This passage goes far beyond a simple affirmation of potential outcomes. It serves as a powerful proclamation of God's absolute authority over all rules, restrictions, and conditions. Whenever he utters a word, the universe responds in obedience. Whenever he issues a directive, the elements fall into perfect harmony. Whenever he determines an outcome, no force can possibly obstruct his purpose. Among the most vivid illustrations of God operating within an utterly hopeless scenario appears in the account of Genesis 18. Sarah, Abraham's spouse, had advanced well past the years suitable for bearing children. She had endured many years of infertility filled with repeated heartache and unfulfilled longing. Nevertheless, God issued a specific vow. He assured, "I will certainly come back to you around this season next year, and Sarah, your wife, shall bear a son." Sarah responded with laughter rooted in sheer incredulity. Yet the Lord countered in Genesis chapter 18, verse 14, with an inquiry that resonates across generations. Is anything too hard for the Lord? This question does not function as empty rhetoric. It offers profound heavenly comfort. It serves to assure us that God operates without restraint from our schedules or our personal limitations. He fulfills precisely what he proclaims. Throughout the gospel records, Jesus carried out miraculous acts not as occasional spectacles, but as consistent expressions of his deep empathy and sovereign control. In the narrative of John 11, he brought Lazarus back to life following 4 full days entombed. Prior to that act, he assured Martha, Did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? That identical divine splendor remains accessible to believers even now. As we confront what appears to be a final conclusion, Jesus gently prompts us that he embodies the resurrection and the life itself. What we perceive as irreversible demise still falls well within his ability to revive and restore. Matthew chapter 19 verse 26 confirms this assurance further. Jesus gazed directly at his followers and stated, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." He offered this truth in answer to an inquiry regarding eternal salvation. Yet the underlying concept extends widely to every area of existence. Human boundaries mark the exact starting place for God's boundless mercy to take effect. The moment our progress halts entirely, that is when God commences his transformative work. Upon arriving at the exhaustion of our own capabilities, we finally position ourselves to encounter the fullness of his strength. This evening, as we ready ourselves for prayer, present your seemingly insurmountable challenge directly to the Lord. It might involve a medical verdict that physicians have labeled as incurable. Perhaps it concerns an enormous accumulation of obligations with no visible means of resolution. It could center on a severely damaged connection that appears irreparable. Or maybe it relates to a divine assignment that feels overwhelmingly burdensome, or an opportunity that has stayed firmly sealed despite prolonged waiting. Regardless of the specifics, lay it before the one who divided the Red Sea waters, who caused the sun to halt in its path, who restored sight to those without vision, and who summoned the deceased back to vitality. Ensure this becomes far more than a habitual ritual. Transform it into an act filled with sacred anticipation. Allow your trust to swell as you recall that the very Spirit who resurrected Christ from death now resides within you. Permit every uncertainty to fade in the presence of unwavering truth. Cause every apprehension to yield ground to steadfast confidence. Transform every rejection uttered by people into an affirmative response from God Himself. We do not address a remote and uninvolved being. Instead, we appeal to an intimately involved Father who takes great pleasure in accomplishing what defies all expectations. Right now, drop a comment with your current time and location, hour, and place, and invite the Lord to step into the very alleyways and corners of where you are to bless, shield, and uphold you with His unmistakable presence. Let us now enter God's throne room with courageous assurance, genuine meekness, and rock-solid conviction that the God who performs wonders continues to act dynamically today. Approach prayer with absolute certainty that what strikes us as beyond reach merely provides a platform for Him to demonstrate His unparalleled strength and unveil His magnificent splendor. Heavenly Father, this evening I approach your presence like a dependent child, urgently requiring my Father's guiding touch. I arrive carrying belief, even if it feels modest in size, and optimism, even if it seems delicate, because I recognize you as the God who achieves feats no other can match. You stand as the one who fashioned the vast heavens and the solid earth simply through your spoken command. You remain the one who sustains the entirety of creation by your immense authority. You are the one who carves rivers through arid wastelands and forges trails across untamed deserts. And I hold firmly that you possess the ability to bring about the inconceivable within my own circumstances. Lord, I present to you the burden that has pressed heavily upon my soul, the challenge that towers far beyond my grasp, the anguish that cuts so profoundly it seems unhealable, the dilemma that appears devoid of any remedy. I admit openly that I have attempted to resolve it relying solely on my limited resources. I have struggled to bear it unaided. I have wept bitterly. I have fretted endlessly. I have begged repeatedly. But in this moment, I deliberately release it fully into your capable care, for I am convinced that what proves unattainable through human effort becomes achievable through you. I proclaim the truth found in Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 17. Our sovereign Lord, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outstretched arm. Nothing is too hard for you. Since you can shape entire galaxies merely by voicing them into existence, you can certainly mend this fractured area. If you can separate oceans and sustain thousands with minimal provisions, then you can abundantly meet my needs. If you can silence roaring lions and accompany your servants unscathed through blazing flames, then you can shield me from harm. If you can triumph over mortality itself via resurrection, then no aspect of my life lies outside your transformative influence. God, I plead for a supernatural wonder, not due to any merit on my part, but because of your boundless kindness, not through any accomplishment of mine, but owing to your overflowing tenderness. I request that you step in with heavenly intervention. I seek for you to overturn what seems irreversible. I urge you to unleash the long-awaited advancement. I implore you to fling open the entrance that human hands cannot close. I beg you to extend your powerful arm and prove yourself invincible in my situation. Lord, I trust that you are Jehovah Rapha, the God who brings wholeness. I raise every illness, every persistent ailment, every medical report that has resisted all cures. Allow your restorative energy to surge forth. Permit it to reach every tiny cell, every bodily function, every vital part. I announce recovery over malignancies, blood sugar, imbalances, cardiovascular issues, immune system failures, neurological impairments, reproductive challenges, psychological struggles, and all varieties of suffering. No condition exceeds your dominion. Command every indication to submit to the authority of Jesus' name. I trust that you are Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who sees and provides. I elevate every economic hardship, every outstanding invoice, every crushing load of indebtedness. I petition that you furnish resources matching your infinite wealth in heaven. Unlock fresh avenues of supply. Bestow insight and preferential treatment. Enable extraordinary sustenance to arrive through unexpected payments, canceled obligations, fresh job opportunities, advancements in position heaven, orchestrated encounters, and innovative approaches that result in growth. I trust that you are the God of full restoration. I present damaged unions between spouses, separated relatives, and splintered companionships. Mend whatever has been ripped asunder. Soften unyielding attitudes. Re-establish confidence. Reignite affection. Reconstruct everything that vanished. Allow your essence of harmony to stream abundantly like a mighty current. In places of disloyalty, introduce pardon. In zones of quiet avoidance, foster open dialogue. In areas marked by wounds, deliver cure. I trust that you are the ultimate waymaker. I bring forward everyone who senses entrapment, confronting sealed entrances, and prayers that linger without response. Forge a route where none appears viable. Generate possibilities in barren landscapes. Provide direction amid bewilderment. Shatter obstacles from red tape resistance and postponements. Cause the portals you unlock to remain broadly accessible. Ensure your affirmative decree drowns out all prior denials. I trust that you are the great deliverer. I elevate every form of enslavement, including dependencies, deep sadness, constant worry, terror, thoughts of self-harm, and inherited patterns of defeat. Shatter each link. Demolish every fortified barrier. Mute every deception from the adversary. Usher in liberty. Return happiness. Flood thoughts with tranquility. Release those held captive. Because whomever the sun liberates experiences true freedom.